So, hello dog communicators all around the world, I guess. I'm going to share with you the commenting of some of my videos that definitely could help us get better. So, let's begin with the first one. She is Sienna. She is a 9-month-old Carne Corso, and as I think that I have mentioned, this is the first sign I'm a stranger to her. This is a whole new experience to her. You can see in how she is looking around and noticing all the different things that are going on in her environment. She's looking at humans, she's looking at other dogs, animals, everything is new to her. So here we want her to feel the environment. We should know that she feels safe first of all, and then we can jump into asking things from her. This is the first walk, I think. This is the first walk that I make with that dog. So at the beginning, look at how much I am changing the direction with her all the time. Looking, she's she's moving forward. She is in the front, and we're not working at the same level. And I am changing her direction, even though she's afraid. We don't stop. No, I don't let her get too drawn by her fear, because this has to flow somewhere. This is energy in her dog. She has energy, tension right now. So this is very important here to allow her to. Oh, such a nice girl. Okay, so look, this spot here. I stop it. This spot here. She looked at me, and she did it, even though this is a place that she was afraid to be in. That was very scary for her. Like, so many experiences, so many figures that could be, I don't know, harmful to her. She doesn't know if this is safe. She's a 9-month-old puppy, and this is the first time that she's walking with me alone in the night, in a place that she doesn't even feel safe, because she doesn't know it yet. She's new to this place. So here I want you to see that I am asking from her, hey, look at me, or get a treat. Hey, get a treat, come on. Like, you're a good girl, get a treat, you look at me. And we don't understand what is the dog seeing in that moment. In my head, in that moment I was like, hey, look at me and you'll get a food. And then you can go back into looking, right? That's so easy. Why don't you do that? And some people will be frustrated. They will be like, oh, stupid dog. It just doesn't understand. My dog is broken. That's an extreme. We have to notice what is actually going on with her. What she is actually thinking. Because so many times we know what we think. We know why we do what we do. But we don't know. We don't see. What is the dog thinking? In which state of mind is the dog at that moment? You can see that she's looking around, she's all the time, moving. Even though she was walking forward, she wouldn't wait until that she reaches the end of the leash. And that's not because she is trained to do that, but because she was afraid to walk in the front. She needed safety in that moment. Now, let's see what the dog is saying. So in this specific video, it's very interesting because the dog is in a state of fear, right? But she's not like freeze from fear. It's not an absolute fear, but she's afraid, and we can see that she's worried. She's very cautious of her environment, and she doesn't know if it's safe. She doesn't know if it can cause her harm. The dog has already given us the signs that she is afraid, that it doesn't trust. So in that moment that we are asking from her, hey, look at me, you get the reward, that's a fair deal. What the dog is saying is that, okay, this is a place full of dangers. All those figures are so suspicious. All those things can be so much dangerous for me. I don't know what those things want from me. And so every single moment, something can jump and get me. I can be hurt, because there were dogs passing by with their owners, there were bicycles, there were strange kids in the park. So she had no idea what was going on there, and if she was safe to stop looking all around, because by looking all around she was trying to make sure that if something comes and get her, You know, she will have the opportunity to run and that it wouldn't surprise her. So in that moment, she needed to look at the environment to make sure that she is safe. She doesn't know if the stranger that is walking with her can protect her from that or will protect her from that. So there is no trust there. Our number one priority is the dog's safety. Safety in general, but the dog's safety is our number one priority, and the dog has to know that. It has to know that it's safe in that moment. Otherwise, we cannot work with the dog. We don't have its mind. It's mentally away from us. It's all around outside there, but not here, in our connection. So, and then I almost get, confused, like, hey, why don't you get the food? The dog, the last thing, if you think that your life is in that moment in danger, believe me, even you, regardless of how food motivated you are, you wouldn't mind about the food, regardless of how tasty the food is. If you're thinking that at any moment somebody can jump and kill you, the last thing you will think is the food. You have to be alert. That's what she is here. She's alert. So I persist. Come on, get the food. Oh, she got it the first time. She got it. Even though she was afraid. So you see that she's not totally afraid. That there was a space in her mind that allowed her to think differently. And I persist. Here, that's a mistake. That's a mistake because look at this dog. It's looking all around. It's like, oh my god, where am I? Oh my god, like everything is so new to her, and I am persistent. Like, hey, come get the food. I have food for you. So this is, to me, it's just funny, of course. And I persist. Like, come on, look at me. Look at my finger. So for me, that is purely funny because, okay, you don't have to be strict. I mean, I'm still learning, so it's very nice that we are seeing my mistakes together, and that we are laughing with this video together in some spots. But that's okay, See here? Again, I persist still. I persist. Okay, so that's not, of course, the right way to do it. It's not necessary. And here, let me stop to tell you something. So, you don't have, when you understand that you have made a mistake, in that moment, please get out of that situation. Don't ask from your dog to fix your mistake, because that was my mistake right there. Because it was my lack of awareness. So she looked at me, and afterwards, after a little bit of trying, she ate that. So oh my god, that's amazing, it's working. So I said, okay, I had the little hope that okay, that may be the moment. And I was pressing it, and I was like, yeah, if I persist, it will be the moment. I will make it to be the moment. But it's not fair for the dog, because the dog was not in a state of cooperating with me. Because in that moment, he was afraid. The dog was afraid. So it's very interesting, and this is wrong. If we were to do something different here, if you got in my state and you saw that you persisted too much and the dog, just because I have done this mistake again in the past, I will confess that. So I had a dog that it had just been attacked by a stray dog, and of course it was not, my dog really got scared, even though it was not so much a dog that had this tendency to be scared. It was a very calm dog, like it was okay generally with its environment. We had worked in a variety of environments. She was pretty confident, but in that moment, she was shocked. And what I did is that after this attack, I asked from her to sit down and look at me. And guess what? The dog will not look at you. Listen to me very carefully. The dog will not look at you when it's in a state of fear, because it needs all its senses to be alert in its environment, to realize what is going on, to be ready in case something happens, to be ready to protect itself. In a state of fear, dogs are not connected with you. If you're not communicating, you can do nothing at all with a dog. So your first number one priority is to connect, is to communicate. And in that state, in the state of fear, You cannot communicate. So your first priority there will be to eliminate the fear. It's to find a way out of this fear for the dog. So how are you going to do that? In my case here, it will be to keep walking and to go out of this very stressing environment, because remember, we were in a park. If we got into a more quiet road, maybe to some place that the dog has been in the past, or some place where the dog can feel safe, well then it will be more fair to ask from the dog to cooperate with me, and maybe I could eliminate the fear or allow the dog, give it the time it needs to fill the space, give it the time it needs to figure all this world out. I mean, we needed years to get used to some situations. Give some minutes to the dog to do the same. Be fair with the dog. So our first priority is the dog needs. Right now, the dog needs are not satisfied. The dog may need to eat, to pee, to drink, to feel safety. Basically, those are the needs. Here, not all of those needs are satisfied. Safety is missing. So our first priority is to find the safety. We want to know that the dog feels safe, and of course it is safe. You understand that your dog is in a state of fear, and you have already asked something from the dog. Let it go. Let it go. Stop asking the dog to look at you. It's not looking at you because it doesn't want to do as you wish, or I don't know, it's bad trained or anything. It's afraid. So please have that as a priority. Like, your dog needs from you to feel safe in that moment. That's your first priority. Do I still try? I've quit trying. See, even when we stop, look at that here, look at that here. So even when we stop and we were walking and we were about to cross the street and go on the other side, and the place where we were going, where we were heading, it was more quiet. And the dog, when we stopped and it was looking at the quiet place, what it did? Turned on the right. Not just turned its head, it totally turned. It was like, what's going on? So why is that? It is because the dog is freaking scared of this environment. She gives us all the signals, like, I'm scared. I am scared right now. Please, let's go out of here. And now look at her. She's still afraid, but not in the same way. She's still cautious and aware and alert of her environment, but not as much as at the beginning. You saw? Look at that. Look at her, how she is next to me. I mean, I don't even have to pull her. Okay, here, stop. It's a very interesting place here because, as you see, I am pulling, and the moment she stops, I'm still pulling. That's a mistake. The moment that the dog gives to me what I want, I stop asking because I have already taken it. In every given moment, you're asking something from the dog. In that moment of pulling, you're asking from the dog to stop. So if the dog has already stopped and you're still pulling, it's like, what else do you want? You took your answer. Please stop asking. Don't ask anymore. Release the pressure. The dog has given to you what you want, and then it may still think, is it not the right answer? If I still have the question around my neck, is it not the right answer? The answer that I gave to the human. So it's very important in moments like this, understand that the dog has given you the answer. Please stop asking. So remove the pressure earlier. Again, look at that. Again, I'm doing it. I'm like, come on, look at me. Look at my hands, my magic hands. So the dog is still not ready, and I persist. Oh yeah, you did. And she doesn't get my treat. You know, you can imagine my excitement that moment, like, yeah, I made it. You know, she gave me what I wanted, and then she doesn't want the treat. She was like, just leave me alone. I'm scared. So in this moment, the dog is still afraid. She's less afraid, but she's still afraid. Was it wrong to ask from her in that moment to look at me? Well, it's not so bad. But I would prefer, if I'm not sure that the dog has got used to its environment, that it's not in a state of fear anymore, then to ask from her something. Since she still was in the state of fear, even if it was less, I should have given her more time. And of course, in the first attempt where I tried it and I saw that she was not focused on that, I should have probably understood so far that maybe it's not time yet. Maybe she's not there yet. She needs more time. She needs more minutes, maybe hours. Here, it's very nice. I want you to see this spot. So, I believe that in situations like this, where the dog is afraid and it has all this energy and this tension, because there's so much tension in her body, because she's ready for everything, she's alert. I think that in this moment, that's very, very good to do this change of direction. And why is that? Because when you're changing direction, the dog is doing something, it's focusing on something, and the moment that it was looking at some other thing that had its attention, the dog is stopped focusing so much, because when it gets too much drawn by something, it may even freeze out of fear or may react in some way. We don't want these reactions. We want the dog to have the chance to feel that it can comfortably navigate in our world. So in that moment, the best thing that we could do was to change that, to let the dog know that, hey, it's okay, you saw that, but now we're going somewhere. Allow the dog to know that we can change direction. You don't have to go where you're afraid to be. It's good that we are changing direction all the time. We're changing. And when she's pulling, when she's too drawn by something, and of course, not just when she is pulling, but when she is too much drawn to something. So, a very good technique here to keep changing directions all the time. Here, there, very good, very good. So the dog is doing something, it's in motion. It's, you know, her only concern right now, it's not all those scary figures out there, but it's also that she is doing something. I like this dog so much. Very nice. Very good. And that's the things that I was saying to her too, like, so good. Very nice girl. Okay, she pulled right there. Okay, a very nice note here. So look at the fact that my hand is almost stable. I don't move my hand very much back and forth. My hand is almost stable. And why is that? Because and when she's pulling, my hand is also stable. Why is that? Because regardless of how far she goes, she knows that there is a specific length of freedom that she has. So in that moment, when she will go more on the back looking something, more on the front looking something. When she feels this pressure, she will know that this is how far she can go. Look at her walking next to me. That was wonderful. Remember at the beginning? If you just jump at the beginning of this video, it's so different. Like, you can see the beginning of that video, of that walk, when it was her first walk, she was really more scared. She wouldn't smell. Now she is smelling. She wouldn't do that at the beginning, and it was because she was afraid. More relaxed, more of... She wouldn't smell if she was in that first state of mind when she thought that something may jump and kill her. So that's very good. That's a great progress here. Amazing. Very good. So nice. So that's all of this video. She was such a good girl. Look at her. She explored it. And she had a feel, and there's no need for her to be afraid anymore. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see the progress. And it wouldn't have happened if we hadn't given her the opportunity to feel this place. It was wonderful. So those results need time. Give your dog the time it needs. That was all from us. It was very nice to see this content, this capture of that walk together, and see you in our next dog walks.